who had gone to a general call to the People's Forum came up with the issues around support for what was happening in Washington and also coming to the mission in terms of the international question here. They have a demonstration. So that's how this came together under the banner of the rapid response to Venezuela. So it was a suggestion that we meet here at 3:30 and then at 4 o'clock so we don't come piecemeal, and then we all go around the 45th and 1st at 4 o'clock. So it's 4 o'clock. So we should go ahead around the 4, because some people might just go right around there anyway.
There. Yeah.
But we want to come as a group there. So if people have placards and stuff, we should give them out. And so we walk around, and we have a sound permit, and so we'll walk around the 45th and 1st and set up there. I'm sure they're set up. I haven't been around. I'm sure they have something set up there already.
Oh, they always have.
Oh, yeah.
Always
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Up front. All right? So that's
4, and then now it's coming back.
And then come back to the U.S. Yeah, yes.
Well, international.
According to American water,
Mission call.
let us walk around.
Did you say that? Fantastic. Breakout groups, I thought, were very different.
How you doing?
Otherwise,
You know, the yeah. I would not know what it was about.
U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands!
Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off 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 Venezuela.
We're here today in solidarity and support of the Bolivarian Revolution in Venezuela. We're here today in solidarity with the people of Venezuela as they demonstrate by their discipline and their sacrifice, their commitment to sovereignty and being able to control their own development and the lives of their families and children. We're here today in solidarity with our internationalist comrades who are held up inside the Venezuelan embassy in Washington, D.C. under attack every day by U.S. police and the Trump administration in violation of international law. We're here today because we speak for the majority of people in this country who believe that you must fight for democracy. It is never given to you. And so we say, U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! And we challenge the members of the United Nations, if they can march into a sovereign embassy today, they will march into your embassy tomorrow. There's no one safe from fascism and a police state. Every day they push the envelope on what people thought they had a right to do, that they find out they no longer have that right. Which is why the comrades in the embassy in Washington, D.C. deserve our highest commitment and respect for putting their bodies in front of the police to defend Venezuelan sovereignty. A free Venezuela speaks to a free people in the world. We're very proud and honored to know that the Bolivarian Revolution goes very deep. Because in spite of all the attacks on Venezuela, the people are standing strong. The coup that they wanted to bring into being has failed so far. But they never give up, which is why we have to be vigilant. U.S. hands! 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 All around the world, it is clear to people that the United States represents the rise of war and fascism. Not because anyone is making war on them, because to escape from the collapse of the American economy, they must go to war. And they must violate the sovereignty of people. So we're here at the UN because it's very important for people to know that the United Nations is not simply taking a tour to see what's going on in the gift shop or to talk about democracy, when in fact the sovereignty of a sovereign country is being violated by the police and by terrorism. They cut the water off and the electricity off to a sovereign state's building in Washington, D.C. Every day they violate international law, and if you turn your heads today, don't be surprised if fascism is at your door tomorrow. U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
But this is a people's rally because the people have to stand up. If you're silent today, you may not have a chance to have a voice tomorrow. So we will have people who would like to come up and say a few words. That there's a people's microphone, and you can do that. So we're going to first have Bill, George come up and say a few words, and then we'll back.
Thank you all for being here today to stand in solidarity with the people of Venezuela, with a government that spends its money for housing and health care and the well-being of the people, not for war. What is the crime of the Bolivarian government of Venezuela? They took the belongs to them, and they spend it to build housing, to build schools. Shouldn't the banks and corporations here, they want the wealth of Venezuela to come here to be used to build luxury housing and condos, to drive people out of their homes in Harlem, in Bed-Stuy, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn. This is May 9th. May 9th. On this day in 1945, the Soviet Army liberated Berlin and put an end to the Third Reich. And today, more than 80 years after the start of World War II, the United States is playing the role that the Third Reich did in the world. 80 years after the start of World War II will be this fall. 30 years after the end of the so-called Cold War, which wasn't cold in most of the world. Our government, not our government, the government that lives off our tax dollars, is at war all over the world. Having failed in the coup attempt in Venezuela, they've now turned to terrorism. They've murdered 5 Venezuelan soldiers in the last 48 hours. They're sending a fleet to threaten Iran. Last weekend, U.S. rail unloading U.S. bombs and missiles provided for free on the people of Gaza, killing 25 people, including women and children, toddlers. And just a few hours ago, we heard the U.S. Navy has seized a North Korean ship on the high seas in an act of piracy. Only war and destruction can keep Wall Street, can keep U.S. banks and oil monopolies in their obsolete place in the world economy. So all they're doing around the world is carrying on war and destruction. They would rather destroy schools and homes in Venezuela or Gaza or Iran than build them here, than build housing here, than provide free water, clean water to Flint and 100 other cities. And this is a war against the working class and oppressed and black and brown and native people in this country, too, because the more money the corporations have, the more they use it against us to destroy jobs and destroy housing. Our cause is one with the people of Venezuela. We cannot let the U.S. government overthrow the government of Venezuela. We need money for housing and jobs and schools and hospitals, not war. President Hugo Chavez, Maduro, Bolivar, and of course Bolivar was a student of the Haitian Revolution of Dessalines and Toussaint Louverture. They are our heroes. They are fighting for the working class. They are fighting for us, and we have to stand with them. U.S. hands off Venezuela! U.S. hands off Venezuela! So I want to say one more thing. The Wall Street Journal last Saturday, a week ago, had a headline, "Big oil giants in trouble because of falling prices." You know, there's a slogan, "No blood for oil," and it's kind of misleading, because it might make you think they're going to war to make sure people in this country have heating oil or can afford to drive to work. But what happened when they invaded Iraq? The price of oil went through the roof, and people had to choose between heating and eating. And people went without heating, were freezing to death. And Venezuela came to the help of poor and oppressed communities in this country with oil, just like it came to the help of Haiti. Now the people of Haiti are in the streets because they can no longer get oil. They can no longer have to buy oil from U.S. monopolies. The U.S. is trying to do on a world scale what Rockefeller and the Standard Oil Trust did in the 1870s when they created a monopoly on oil in this country and drove thousands of small producers out of business. This is not in the interest of people in this country. It's only in the interest of corporations. They are our enemy. The fight against gentrification, the fight against layoffs, the fight against racism and police brutality is the fight to defend Venezuela. And also we cannot allow the Secret Service to brutalize people who they claim have the rights of U.S. citizens, the heroes who are sitting in at the embassy, who are now going without food and water, because the U.S. government and the Secret Service and the completely illegal move under international law, along with Venezuelan fascists, is laying siege to that embassy. And tomorrow, people will be going in, will be mobilizing. If you can, go to D.C. tomorrow at 1 p.m. outside the Venezuelan embassy. People from our organization, Struggle La Lucha, will be driving up from Baltimore, down from Baltimore with food and water to try to break the blockade. Thank you. U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
We're going to have a solidarity song. The Raging Granny.
Give it out our song sheets. Just give it out our song sheets. Sorry.
Okay, where?
There we go.
Yeah. My hands.
Okay, I gave it out. Anyone else want song sheets? Or if you can give it, if you want to give some out, that'll be great. Okay. Start singing. Okay. Yeah, take one.
Who else needs to?
Yeah, you can come sing with us. You're good. Okay.
I gave you one that I couldn't separate.
Okay, we gotta start low on this one. This is low. Okay, this is our song from Carolina Turchin in The Raging Granny. She's in Florida, or she'd be here today. And we start low. Yeah. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, sing. Yankees go home, we shout. Yankees go home. Farewell to foreign shores, but people tell us, get out, out, out. Your bloody flags, no more to roam. We've work to do right here, so we yell, let's stay the hell at home. Yankees stay home, we plead. Yankees stay home. No Venezuela coup, that's never been the thing to do. We should have learned by now. We've caused great harm. We've work to do right here, so we yell, let's stay the hell at home. So we yell, let's stay the hell at home. Thank you, everyone.
Great job. Great job.
Yes, Sherman. I'm the Socialist Workers' Party candidate for State Assembly in New Jersey. Thank you to the organizers and all of us who've come out today. This is exactly what is needed in response to the bipartisan attacks by both the Democrats and Republicans against the sovereignty of Venezuela and the war threats against Cuba. I want to read from the Socialist Workers' Party statement. Only the people of Venezuela have the right to decide their own future. Only they have the capacity to forge a working class leadership that can chart a course out of the devastating capitalist crisis facing them. Oppose U.S. imperialism's never-ending efforts to turn back the socialist revolution fought for and conquered some 60 years ago by Cuban workers and farmers and the communist leadership forged by Fidel Castro and others. Organize more protest actions, more protest meetings, and other events. U.S. hands off Venezuela, U.S. hands off Cuba. Thank you very much.
U.S. hands off Venezuela.
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands off Venezuela.
U.S. hands off Venezuela!
U.S. hands
people's mic, so if you want to come up and rally and want to say something, please do. But I think the connections that are being made are very important. The sanctions that have been put on Venezuela are the atomic bomb and hydrogen bomb of the 21st century. It is the simple plan that they put into action. Destroy and attack the economy, then promote that the leadership is either corrupt or incompetent, but unfit to rule their own country, unfit to represent the people of their own country, and therefore regime change is what's necessary. And with that regime change will come new contracts, new possibilities to take the U.S. economy out of its crisis, and most importantly, to stop resources being able to be utilized for other people struggling for their liberation. So their plan is very simple, but they mean it, and they put it into practice. And that's why it's very important for us to be here, right across the street from the U.S. mission to the United Nations, because the United States is the most terroristic country in the world today.
Yeah.
They have a U.S. carrier going over to Iran under the pretext that Iran is threatening to attack U.S. forces in the Middle East. Once again, they try to wag the dog and create a crisis to get them out of the crisis at home. They sent ships to the South China Sea as a provocation. And as always, they make trouble fail till they make trouble again. That's why we say, U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
And we in the December 12th movement, who are participating in Rapid Response Venezuela, want people to also understand that this attack using sanctions is precisely what they're using against Zimbabwe.
That's right! That's right!
The attitude towards Zimbabwe is that African people do not have the right to control their resources. The crime that Zimbabwe created or did was to take back their land. And we say that to folks here because sometimes we find a consistency in talking about progressive countries and talking about sovereignty and independence, and then when we come to Africa, suddenly we get confused.
That's right!
The same tactics and the same criminals attacking Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Haiti, different parts of this world are the same ones that are on the African continent trying to recolonize Africa.
Say it.
We say we're not asking you to agree or disagree with the Venezuelan government. Only the people of Venezuela have a right to determine that.
That's right.
They have a human right and a right by international law to determine that. But sanctions and war on people are crimes against humanity.
Yes.
Against humanity.
And so that's why we say too, on the African continent, find your bearings. Stop being confused. Use the premises that Kwame Nkrumah and Patrice Lumumba and many of the other revolutionaries said, that people have a right to sovereignty and independence.
Yes.
And so that's why we say, just like in Venezuela is under attack. Why? Because they wanted to be self-determined.
Yep.
Why is Cuba under attack? Because they want to be self-determined. Nicaragua and other countries, in Haiti, they make trouble, fail, make trouble till they're doomed. But the reality is our responsibility here in the United States, as the rapper in California, Nipsey Hussle said, we gotta have our 10 toes on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility in the belly of this beast of racism, white chauvinism, white supremacy, and economic terrorism to say that there's resistance here. There's resistance here. We represent that resistance, and we will continue to do that because we're on the right side of history.
Yes.
If you're on the side of the people, you're on the right side of history. And no amount of lies out of Washington, no amount of lies from the State Department, no amount of lies from the Democratic or Republican Party can change the course of history. Martin Luther King Jr. used to say, in the long run, history bends toward justice. Well, it's our responsibility to push that justice forward. U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
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 Fight on, Venezuela!
Fight on, Venezuela!
For your own sovereignty,
For your own sovereignty,
independence,
independence,
and right to self-determination.
and right to self-determination.
Never give up!
Never give up!
Never give up!
Never give up!
Stand up
Stand up
and fight back
and fight back
against Trump sanctions,
against Trump sanctions.
Trump coups.
Trump moves.
The people will win.
The people will win.
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
So from Venezuela to Cuba to Nicaragua to Haiti to Zimbabwe to the people of the world, we're here in front of the United Nations to say that yes, Palestine will be free. We're here in front of the United Nations to say yes, that North Korea has the right to self-determination, and the goal of the reunification of Korea is a strategy and a mission. The United States has chosen to make war everywhere in the world. It's the only country in the world that has troops everywhere. It has their business in everybody else's business. So we're standing across the United Nations to say that you have a responsibility to defend international law in spite of the United States. You have a responsibility. So U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
U.S. hands!
Off Venezuela!
And if you pass over Venezuela today, if you allow the United States to destroy a sovereign embassy in Washington, D.C., to attack the people who were invited there every day, to cut off the electricity and water, to make them suffer, which you have not made them do, because you have not made them give up, then we say, you will be next. Stand up, Venezuela.
Stand up, Venezuela!
And the mic is open. You don't have to say
So I'm not very good on the mic, but I just wanted to come here and say that I wanted to pay tribute to the people of Venezuela who 20 years ago had the courage to break from neoliberalism and elect Hugo Chavez, who, in all respect, was the Nelson Mandela of the time. And nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks about how for hundreds of years in Venezuela, it was a white oligarchy that ruled. They never gave anything to the people. They never gave anything to the oppressed, to the people who lived in misery. And they made that choice. They made that choice to break with neoliberalism because it failed in every way. And now they're being punished for it. For 20 years, they've tried to break the Bolivarian Revolution. I'm originally from Scotland, where we have oil reserves, and we've never seen anything of it. But in Venezuela, they built schools, they built universities, they sent the poor to college, they sent the poor to get degrees, they built houses, they built millions of homes, they eradicated illiteracy, and they actually took care of the people. And Venezuela is a real democracy. Right. It's a real democracy. They Hugo Chavez faced multiple recall elections. He implemented constituent assemblies where he gave the people a voice. This is something that would never happen here. The people have no voice here. We just have representatives who look out for the most wealthy and who don't give a crap about anyone else. So I just want to say one more time, hands off Venezuela. The Venezuelan people have a right to sovereignty. They have a right to make the choices on their own, and they have a right to control their future. Viva Venezuela!
Viva Venezuela!
Viva Chavez!
Viva Chavez! Viva Maduro! Viva the Bolivarian Revolution! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands! U.S. hands!
And you know what? Maybe we want to do Iran.